Hello and welcome to another video. Today we're gonna take a look at potentially the best lead in Great League right now, Dunsparce. It picks up good matchups against a lot of the very common leads right now in Alolan Sandslash, Sableye, Alolan Ninetales, Lantern, all the flyers and more. It is very weak to fighting, also a bit weak to mud boys, but mainly fighting, so I've chosen to pair it with Sableye and Noctowl. This makes the team ABA weak to Obstagoon, but I feel like Obstagoon is quite rare right now, especially in the lead, so that's okay. I ended up going 16-7 with this team and gained way over 100 elo, so let's take a look at the battles. Going into the first game, we lead into Sableye. This is a pretty good lead for Dunsparce. According to the Sims, Sableye does win the Zero Shield here, but that's only with default IVs. If you have a good IV Dunsparce, you can win every even shield scenario because you live a foul play plus a return and can get to 3 moves before the Sableye gets to 3 moves. So you can win every even shield scenario here. As you can see, the 2 drill runs is not quite enough to take out the Sableye in the Zero Shields. You can get away with only throwing 2 moves in like later shield scenarios, but in a Zero Shield you have to land 3. I don't really want to expend all that energy, so I try to cause some panic by throwing in the Sableye on their Sableye. Sometimes if you're all of a sudden doing a lot of fast move damage on a Pokemon that has very little HP, you can cause some panic decisions from the opponent. Go for the foul play on the Alolan Sandslash, which they bring in, try to CMP tie them here on 5, but they wisely over farm. And then they farm up to right before we get to the foul play. Very nice countering by my opponent. Go for the Ice Punch, take out Sableye, and then they get to another move. I don't really want to leave everything up to Noctowl, so I do decide to shield this. And then they should be 5 away from the next one, so we can overfarm a little bit and then go for the drill run. But I'm thinking Sableye leads Shadow Alolan Sandslash in the back. This might be double steal, and if it is, it's probably the Registeel, because that's the team I've been seeing. I've been running it as well. And if it's the Registeel, I want to shield the Focus Blast rather than a move from Alolan Sandslash. So I do decide to no-shield the next one. They try to catch on Sableye unsuccessfully, so we can get overfarm a little bit more on Dunsparce. Then get to the drill run on Shadow Alolan Sandslash. It's not the Registeel in the back, it's a Beedrill, and Noctowl can very easily take care of that. Next game, lead into a Medicham. Yikes. I have to swap into Sableye immediately, and they respond with a Dewgong. This is not ideal, because Sableye cannot flip this. Especially not because, you know, Dewgong is addicted to shielding the first move, and they do also shield the first move, and now they're obviously going to debuff us, which is probably the right way to play it from my opponent. Go up to right before they get to the next one. It is 5-4, 5-4 for the ISO wins, so we can go for the foul play here. And it does do, I'm seeing how much it does and thinking one more foul play is probably not enough. So I do end up going for the return here. Right before I get knocked out, they have to expend the second shield or let their Dewgong go. If I were my opponent here, I would probably have taken out the Sableye instead of expending 2 shields. Because now if I have something with sweeper potential in the back, I'm up 2 shields. That's not a good situation for my opponent. I'm thinking I can probably farm this all the way down with the Dunsparce. Just absorb all of this energy, come out with 100 energy and then swap into Noctowl afterwards, but they decide to swap into Medicham, so now we're obviously gonna save the energy on Dunsparce and then swap into Noctowl. Take the first Ice Punch, debatable, and I don't want to throw before they get to the next one because a move would not quite be enough from here, so would rather shield this and then overfarm. Sky Attack does about 50%, whereas the Shadow Ball does about 55%. It is a little bit iffy if the Medicham is really good, so I do decide to go for the Shadow Ball just to make sure. And then I wanted to CMP tie the Dewgong. I wasn't quite sure if they were 1 away from the move or if they were at it. So if they were at it, Noctowl does win CMP, so I wanted to go for the Sky Attack immediately. But they decided to bring in a Shadow Alolan Sandslash instead, so we end up throwing a Sky Attack into that. That was not the best moment from my part, but it's absolutely fine because we have so much energy on Dunsparce. So we can get to the Rock Slide to take out the Dewgong, then get to the drill run, and spoiler alert, this does about 63% to a Shadow Alolan Sandslash, so it should take it out, and that is a good game. Next game, lead into a Toxapex, pretty neutral lead for Dunsparce, despite the fact that drill runs are super effective. The Dunsparce is just so tanky, it can take 2 of them, so you have to land 3. And if the Dunsparce lands a Brine Bait, or if it lands the Sludge Wave, it is in a quite good position here. It does win the 1 shield straight Sludge Wave actually. I do decide to shield the first move, it is the Sludge Wave, very nice. Then they try to catch on a Sableye, we bring in the Noctowl. And I'm realizing Toxapex in the lead, Poison in the lead, Dark type in the back. This might very well be another Dark type in the back. It can also be Toxapex double Ghost with Trevenant, but that is significantly rarer in the new season because Trevenant has been nerfed. So I'm thinking it might be a Obstagoon or a Scrafty in the back. Also because the Sableye got 2 Shadow Claws advantage, I do need to throw the Sky Attack immediately in order to outpace to a return and a foul play, or to 2 Sky Attacks before they get to a return and a foul play. And here, they're at back-to-back foul play. If I let my Noctowl go, they're getting another foul play onto one of my Pokemon in the back. But if I shield my Noctowl, the wing attack went through and it should KO the Sableye, meaning they don't get off the second foul play. And also, I want to save my Noctowl for a potential Scrafty or Obstagoon in the back. They're probably going to bring in the Toxapex here. I don't want to bring in my Dunsparce because then it might just get farmed down by a Scrafty or an Obstagoon, and that would not be nice. But I can bring in my Sableye because then they either have to stay in a bad matchup with Toxapex against Sableye, or they're going to have to swap into their Dark type in the back. It ends up not being a Dark type in the back, which makes this a lot less complicated because Trevenant is definitely a Pokemon we can handle. It now takes 6 Shadow Claws to get to a Seed Bomb, so we can overfarm to right before they get to it, and then go for the foul play here. And then we should also just be able to get to a foul play on the Toxapex. I think they had a brine, but I also think my opponent just kind of conceded the match at this point. And that is a good game. I think that is a good way to play it, to like swap Noctowl onto the Sableye and then save it for later as well. Next game, lead into a Charizard. They swap into a Shadow Quagsire. I should not swap in Noctowl here. And also, I'm thinking they're not going to bait. It's such a risky bait, but they actually went for the Mud Bomb bait. Absolute yikes. And then they go for a Stone Edge, which just does massive, massive damage. I wasn't quite aware of how much damage this does. I think a Sky Attack does about 41, or was it 39? Something like that, and a Shadow Ball does about 45. So it shouldn't quite be enough. I could have gone for another Sky Attack here, but if I take out the Quagsire, I have no energy on my Noctowl. The Charizard is just going to come in and farm me down. I'm down a shield, and that's just game over. If I let the Quagsire take out my Noctowl instead, and also just let go of all this energy, I can farm it down with Dunsparce instead, and come out with energy, which is how I need to win this game. I have to get energy on some of my Pokemon here in order to try and take out that Charizard, because down energy against the Charizard and down shield, yikes, that's just not happening. They bring in a Shadow Lowland Sandslash. We go straight for the Drill Run. This does quite a lot of damage. I could go for another Drill Run immediately to take out the Alolan Sandslash. But once again, I need energy. I can take a move from Alolan Sandslash, but I cannot take a move from Charizard. So I can take this move and then save all the energy on Dunsparce. Bring in Sableye to try and get energy on Sableye as well. Also take this move as well, because I can take a move from Alolan Sandslash, but not from Charizard. It's only a nice punch. If it was a Drill Run, it might have put me in a range where one Blast Burn, or like where Charizard could have farmed me down. But because it's only a nice punch, I think we're going to be able to get to 2 foul plays. My opponent should definitely go for a move here to take up, or to grab the shield or take out my Sableye. But because they allow me to get off this second foul play, they are forced to shield. Meaning, even though they have so much energy on this Charizard, I can get the CMP tie. And because it's a CMP tie, they are only getting off one move. And all of this energy is going to go to waste. We take out the Charizard. And then we get to the Drill Run on a Alolan Sandslash. And we take this out as well. Although I made a bit of a mistake in the beginning, we ended up clutching this game. I should have probably swapped in Sableye onto the Quagsire. We don't have a good response to it, but Sableye is a better response. Next game, lead into Deoxys. In this specific scenario, I swap in Noctowl against the Deoxys lead, because I'm thinking I want to try and set up Sableye for a sweep in the end. Dewgong really does not need to shield the first move here against the Noctowl. It can very easily tank both a Sky Attack and a Shadow Ball, like a Sky Attack or a Shadow Ball, and win every even shield scenario still. Now they've given me a shield advantage, my Sableye might be able to sweep in the back. They come out with a lot of energy because they expended that shield, and a lot of health, which is not ideal, but we can just farm up to 100 energy with Dunsparce, then take out the Dewgong. I don't mind taking another move here. The energy is more valuable, then obviously I'm going to farm that or swap out afterwards to clear the debuffs. But my opponent, once again, they decide to, although they've fought for switch, they decide to save the Dewgong for later and swap into the Deoxys. I decide to shield this Thunderbolt. It would do quite a lot, but it takes 8 for every Thunderbolt. So we can overfarm almost 100 energy with Sableye. This Foul Play should take out the Deoxys. And now if they bring back in the Dugong, it has quite a lot of energy. So I do want to take it out as quickly as possible. Go for the Foul Play here. They should take out the Dugong. Or grab the last shield. It does take out the Dugong. Then they have a Dunsparce in the back. It takes 4-3 for the Dunsparce to get to its moves. So we can outpace with Sableye here. Go for the first Foul Play. My opponent smartly recognizes that the Sableye's moves do more damage than the Dunsparce's. They also recognize that they can probably farm me down, but in doing this, I'm going to get to 2 more Foul Plays. So they kind of have to throw a move here, because by getting to this Foul Play, I can just swap out to Dunsparce afterwards. And because I have a shield, I can just shield this move, get it on the CMP, even though we lose CMP, shield this, and they get off the drill run on their Dunsparce. And they should quite comfortably take out their Dunsparce. I don't even think a drill run would have taken out my Dunsparce from this range. It would have been quite close. Next game. Lead into a very good lead against the Shadow Lord and Sandslash. The Shadow Claws are double resisted. Also my opponent decides to throw an alignment, giving me an entire rollout for free. They also throw Ice Punch. You definitely want to go drill run here. They swap into a Sableye, we swap into Noctowl. As long as you don't give the Sableye 3 Shadow Claws advantage, you can win every even shield scenario here. They go straight for the return, that's fine. We should be able to get to 2 Sky Attacks before they get to a Foul Play and a return. If they get 3 Shadow Claws, they get to the Foul Play and a return on the CMP, which is not ideal. Then you have to expend a shield from Noctowl. But because we were fast enough, we can take out the Sableye. Now they bring in the Shadow Lord and Sandslash, go for the Ice Punch right before we get to another move. Also, I'm just showing this game because I faced so many of these teams. Shadow Lord and Sandslash, Medicham, Sableye, and this is just a pretty easy way to win it. But I just kind of wanted to showcase how you do it, really. You just have to keep alignment, make sure the Sableye doesn't get too much energy. Next game, lead into yet another Sableye. I've seen so many Sableye and Alolan Sandslash leads today, which is why Dunsparce or Umbreon would be very, very good leads right now. I feel around the 22-2300 elo. They go straight for return, does quite a lot of damage. But now we can get to another drill run. It looked like they got another Shadow Claw through. I'm not sure if it was lag or if I just ended up throwing the drill run a little bit too late. But that does mean they get to the Foul Play a little bit quicker than I wanted to. Then bring in the Sableye to try and snipe them. Save the energy on Dunsparce. We do successfully get the snipe and the Sableye goes down. Now they bring in a Registeel. Takes 16 turns, so the equivalent of 8 Shadow Claws to get to a Zap Cannon. So we can throw 8 Shadow Claws and then go for the Foul Play on CMP. I kind of want to keep my Sableye healthy here. The Saber Cannon does a lot of damage. Sableye is the most frail Pokemon on our team. Then we can throw 7 more Shadow Claws, and that means they should still be 1 turn away from the Zap Cannon, because you always get 1 fast move in when the opponent throws a charge move. So we can go for the back-to-back Foul Play. They should either grab the shield or take them out. Our switch timer just about comes up, so we catch the next Zap Cannon on Dunsparce. Very nice catch. And now I probably should be bringing in the Sableye, because Sableye can farm down the Registeel, whereas Noctowl cannot. But I'm also expecting them to swap out, because they have no energy and they're very low. So they swap out into Charizard. This is not comfortable, but I mean, my opponent decides to throw after only 9 wing attacks, meaning if this is a Blast Burn, they're only 2 over. So they only have 2 wing attacks worth of energy, meaning they should be 6 away from the back-to-back Dragon Claw. And it takes 6 to get to Foul Play, so we should be able to get here because we get 1 through as they throw the first Dragon Claw. So we can get to the Foul Play on the Charizard. We could have also lifted the Dragon Claw. It does about 33%, but I did decide to shield it because I knew the Registeel was dry. And that means we can get to the Foul Play on the Registeel as well to take this out. And that is a very good game. Last game, lead into a Lantern, and this is the main reason why Dunsparce has been buffed, because Dunsparce can now 2-shot Trevenant in the Zero Shields, and it can also now 2-shot Lantern in the Zero Shields. Beforehand, Lantern would be able to win the Zero Shields against Dunsparce going straight Surf, But now, because the rollouts add up so much, 2 drill runs is enough to take it out in the Zero Shields, meaning the Lantern will only be able to get to a Surf and a Thunderbolt, which Dunsparce can easily live, or pretty comfortably. And that means Dunsparce can win every even shield scenario against Lantern, making this a very comfortable matchup. We do take out the Lantern, and then they bring in a Dunsparce. I decided to stay in, because I really don't want this on my Sableye, so I would rather keep alignment, make sure I get Noctowl onto it. We do also get to a drill run, which is pretty nice. They go straight for the Night Slash. We, of course, don't want to shield the first one, because they could boost. But I'm also a little bit afraid that there might be a Noctowl in the back, because Lantern is very often, accompanied by a Noctowl, and it is the Noctowl in the back. They've farmed up to another Night Slash on Obstagoon, which we do need to be aware of. But this is not a comfortable situation, because Sableye doesn't really want to be anywhere against this team. I think my opponent is thinking that I am quite weak to Noctowl since I'm staying in here, which is why they're starting to shield. But this is also quite nice for me, because I'm wing attacking them down into a range where 1 foul play is enough to take them out, plus a few Shadow Claws. They go for a Sky Attack, doesn't quite take out Noctowl. They farm up to 100 energy. I think they farmed up a little bit over, so they should have quite a lot of energy still. I shield up the Sky Attack. A Sky Attack does about 40%, whereas the Night Slash only does about 29%, so it's definitely the Sky Attacks I want to shield, unless the Obstagoon boosts. The foul play does about 23%, I think, to an Obstagoon. It's not enough to take it out here, so I do have to go for the return. They do boost, which is absolutely horrible, because now the counters are putting me very low. Go for the return, but it's going to be very close. Can we get to a foul play on the Noctowl? Yes, we can. Just about. 1 more wing attack would have done it, but we just about get to the foul play on the Noctowl, and we get this game. Very difficult game. And that was second 4-1 in a row, and up to 23-29. Not the highest elo, but still pretty good. That was the last battle for today, and overall I think this is just a really good team for climbing right now, at least around my elo. If you're still seeing a lot of Deoxys, Medicham, or even Obstagoon Scraft, the Mudboy elites, then obviously this is not very good. I did showcase some games where I was able to beat them, but most of the time when you run into those types of leads, it's very difficult. Dunsparce does pick up a lot of good leads though right now, I feel, so it's a very good team. Other than that, fun fact of the day, Dunsparce can win the 2 shields against Galarian Stunfisk if the Stunfisk doesn't bait, as in if it goes straight Earthquake. This is IV dependent. If the Stunfisk is very good, 2 drill runs is barely not enough, plus the rollout damage in the 2 shields, but in most scenarios Dunsparce will be able to do this. So just a good thing to be aware of. Other than that, if you like what you see, or feel like you learned something, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.